I am now creating weekly exclusive content for Patreon, so if you are interested in that, go check out the link down below. And of course, if you want to avoid the random lottery of FIFA points, you want to go straight to the source, buy the players directly, use u7buy.com and use the code TVM at checkout. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to another player review, and this time it's going to be the SBC Elkeson, formerly Brazilian, now Chinese, and a 90 rated team of the season card for between 35 and 40,000 coins. Can't really go wrong with that, can you? I mean, if you are a fan of him, bang in, pick him up. If you need him for the links for the Chinese League team of the season, bang in, pick him up. 4-star, 4-star, high medium work rates, high attacking, of course, which is really nice. He's right-footed, just for your information, 5'11", and has some pretty decent stats across the board, really. I mean, when I looked at this for 6pm content, I was fully expecting, and I said it in the video, actually, I'm expecting something to be off, either reactions or composure or whatever it may be. He's got a stocky body type, which is not ideal, but it's not the end of the world. And I looked at his stats and I thought, actually, he's not like, oh my god, amazing, let's get him done straight away good, but he's not bad at all. He doesn't have anything particularly wrong, nothing that stands out as being, well, that's going to be the issue with him. That's going to be what I don't like. You know, often with SBC cards like Lukaku, for example, 95 rated team of the season card. And as soon as I looked at it, I was like, right, well, that's wrong, this is wrong, that's going to feel bad. But with Elkeson, it's kind of like, yeah, not bad. Across the board there for 30, 40k, don't mind that at all. Now, I'll talk as if I've got the chem cell on straight away. There are options here, right? So an engine sprung to mind, but it's kind of wasted because we don't boost the finishing more than 89, and the acceleration is already 99, so it's kind of pointless doing that. So I looked at the sniper. So it's just a logical thing to do. He's got 88 sprint speed, which is not ideal, but he does have 99 acceleration. So out of the blocks, he should feel relatively quick. 99 finishing, because that's been boosted with the sniper. 97 positioning, which is good. Everything from agility down to composure gets boosted by 5. Dribbling's 10. Agility is 7, so that does go to 99. And of course his composure's up at 92 as well. And his short passing doesn't get touched, but is 86 with vision 89 and free kicks 92, which is very nice indeed. And then of course some really good physicals, 90 strength, 93 stamina. 90 strength, by the way, with a stocky body type is just incredible. And when you boost that balance up to 90, he is very, very difficult to tackle, especially if the gameplay is kind of going in your favor. You know, when you play those games and for whatever reason you just cannot tackle the attacker, you go in there with like 3 or 4 defenders, you are launching bodies at this guy and you can't get the ball off him. If that's going in your favor and you have Elkeson, forget about it. You might as well just put the controller down and he'll walk through the defense for you. It is very, very impressive stuff to watch. Of course, you do need that little, you know, thing to go your way, but if it doesn't and you've got sort of very even gameplay, he's still very strong. Stocky body type is very good. I mean, like I said, generally he is a decent card. Like, he's not going to jump off the page amazing, but definitely decent. He's got kind of Depay feels to him. I wouldn't say that it's, you know, completely reminiscent of him, but a stocky body type with strength, 5'11" with pace as well. Does definitely have that sort of Depay vibe. Whether you want to complete this to actually play with it regularly is going to be questionable. You know, it's not one of those, well, does he fit my team? Because chances are, no, he's not going to. If you're the type of person to complete this and have him fit your team, you've either gone out and built a full Chinese Super League team, which wouldn't be a bad thing, by the way, because there are plenty of cards out there who from that league that I think would be more than usable. But the other side of that coin is that if he does fit your team, chances are you've got loads of icons. And if you have loads of icons, more than likely they are going to be better than this Elkeson. So it's going to be one for the fans and one for those looking for a cheap team of the season and one for those who quite literally can't help themselves. Because other than that, honestly, I don't really see, just by looking at the stats, not by talking about the gameplay and how well he performs, but just by looking at it, I don't really see who else would want to pick it up. If you can't help yourself, I understand. I've been there, and if you are a fan of him, then obviously that makes sense. But other than those two reasons, I just don't really see it, because you could probably go pick up a team of the season on the market for the same price, right? And then if you need a 90 rated team of the season card to go into an SBC or something, that makes sense. I get it, right? But let's talk about him in terms of gameplay, how I felt he did, and is he actually worth picking up regardless of whether you're picking him up for fun or fan or going to your team or whatever. To be honest, solid card. In front of goal, with the chem style in particular, he was very good. I wouldn't say he was the best striker I've ever used. The shot power is nice. I am a massive fan of players with above 90 shot power. The higher the better, obviously. It kind of makes sense because the higher the better for every stat, essentially. But you know what I mean. Very, very good in front of goal. Very good. From distance, not so much. Did hit a few, but, moderate success, I would say. I wouldn't say you could rely on it, that's for sure. He felt relatively quick. I wouldn't say he was unbelievably fast. In a straight line in particular, right from maybe the first, 6 or 7 strides. Yes, he felt quite... Well, that's a lie. The first 2 strides, no. Then he did, and then he started to slow down again. One of those really weird... He couldn't... It was not like he feels slow on the turn, but he could be quicker. And I think it does come down to the stocky body type, and maybe the mid-80s balance is probably holding him back a little bit from feeling super quick from the get-go. And then, of course, he does speed up really quickly because of that acceleration. And then the sprint speed is kind of like a drag. It's really weird. You don't get many players like that start quite slow first 2 strides, then get really quick, then slow right down again. Very, very strange. But for the most part, in a straight line, quite quick. Pretty good actually using the L1 or LB dribble with him, when he's sort of like jockeying with the ball. He feels quite good. I mean, not amazing, but again, feels quite good. Skills are very useful, as you can see, or have probably been seeing from the gameplay. Nothing crazy. I don't pop any like amazing skill chains or anything, but some little juggling and some skills here or there, quite useful with him. But in general, I mean, it's just a solid card. Nothing crazy to report, Like, there isn't necessarily a fault with him, and I had this with Martinez, the objective card. Go check out that review that was released last night. That card was, spoiler alert, solid. Nothing necessarily for me to say that's bad, this is bad. And Elkeson is very much the same way. I'm not going to sit here and say to you, this is bad and it needs improving, that wasn't very good, this isn't very good, because he does everything well. There are just cards out there that do it better. So unless you are desperately in need of him for a link, or you're, like I said, you're a fan, then I wouldn't necessarily say that you should rush out and get this done. It's a strange one, though, because he is a good card. And for the price, it's almost too tempting to not do it. I get that. With the chem style, like I said, with the... What did I have? Sniper. I was going to click Deadeye then. With the sniper, you definitely get closer to that sort of end game style striker. He's not quite there, obviously, but he does feel pretty good with the L1, and his finishing is really, really good as well. Definitely comparable to a few other high-rated Team of the Season cards. Does turn into a 94 rated striker, and like I said, played him in a 4-2-3-1, so he was kind of not isolated, but he was up there by himself. He did have overlapping runners and people helping him from deep and things like that. The work rates were really good because obviously high-low is ideal. I mean, that is the perfect world, but high-medium is not too far off. I told him to get him behind and stay forward as well, and he was more than capable of sort of bundling his way through, especially when gameplay went your way. If you need, like I said, Depay is the comparison I would make. If you actually click on similar players to Elkeson on Footbin, another player that comes to mind and that actually pops up in that section is the player moments Mainz centre forward Quaison. That guy is actually quite similar. Now that I think about it, he is actually very similar because they've obviously they've got very similar face stats. The other thing to mention, of course, is that they've got very similar builds. Quaison isn't stocky, but because he's a little bit bigger, he's 6 foot, he feels maybe like he could be. So they are very similar. So if you've done that card, which by the way was around 170,000 coins, they are very similar. I would say that Quaison is a better card, albeit 3-star, 3-star. Of course, if he had 4-star, 4-star, we'd be talking about different things here. But I think that yeah, they are very similar. If you've done both, you can kind of compare them. The only issue, of course, is that Quaison doesn't have any traits whatsoever, and Elkeson does have a power free kick, so if you like your knuckleballs, things like that. And of course, he does have that chip shot trait as well, so it's a little bit more natural, ball rolling on to the edge of his, the end of his foot, and you can just do that little chip shot, and it's almost like a more natural sort of stab at the ball, and he's very good at doing that. Not a massive amount of evidence within the clips, I'm sure, but still a relatively good card that I would recommend most people to do, unless you're like really stingy with your coins or you don't have what you need in the club and you'd have to go buy everything. And yeah, maybe not, but if you're just in this for a bit of fun, fan of him, that sort of thing, I would get him done. Very solid card, excellent price point, by the way, 100% worth it for the coins. Yeah, I had a reasonable amount of fun. If you'd like to see a particular review from the Dutch League or the Chinese League, let me know, because there are a lot of cards to do and there probably aren't enough days for me to do them all. So let me know which one you want to see first. If you have enjoyed the review, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for new, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.